Good afternoon, guys. This is your Suits and Vans Realtor man, Marcus Smith, team leader and founder of the Marcus Smith Real Estate Team at Keller Williams Elite in Oklahoma City. Today's Smith Talk Tuesday, episode number 17, really is talking to sellers today in terms of pricing your home right to sell the first time. I've had a lot of success over the years in terms of, selling homes for my sellers, averaging within, just a few days. A lot of that is, knowing the market, knowing the area, and really conducting a very thorough market analysis to where I can determine the market value of your home based on comparable homes that have sold within your neighborhood or surrounding neighborhood, which are basically the same comparable homes that an appraiser is going to use when your home is appraised by the buyer. But pricing the home right the first time is I'm telling you, one of the most critical components in terms of selling your home to maximize your net or your profit dollars from the sale of your home. Because if you don't price it right, that home will sit on the market for weeks, possibly months. And over time, of course, you're losing money, whether you're paying mortgage on the home, whether you're paying utilities, or whether the home becomes stale in the market to buyers and agents. And then over time, you're gradually doing price reductions. That's just not how I never would want to put my sellers through that process. That's why I always, at least I do my best to price homes right the first time. Example that I like to share with you guys is a seller who reached out to me a few months ago. Her home had been on the market for about almost 6 months, and she gave me a call. She saw me on Facebook, and one of her friends recommended me as well. Thank you, friend. And so she reached out to me, upset, stressed out seller. Marcus, my home's been on the market for 6 months. I've only had like 2 or 3 showings. I'm not getting any feedback or really any communication from the agent. And, I want you to list the home. Okay, well, I would love to do that, but to not step on the toes of any of my fellow realtors, I said, I can't do anything. I can't really even speak to you until, that home is has been expired or you've released it. Which, it expired about a week later. She reached back out to me and vented, her frustrations again. And I had a pretty good indication that one of the reasons, of course, why her home had sat on the market is probably price. Price for me is usually the number one indicator in terms of why a home takes so long to sell. The second indicator could be, of course, the condition of the home. And it could be a little bit of both. It could be overpriced based on the condition of the home. So I told her, just like with any seller, I'm going to do a very thorough market analysis. And once I put that together, we will have our initial meeting. That initial meeting took place. I knew that her home had been listed at $280,000. 280,000. So I get there, and I'm already kind of hesitant because I already know where my numbers are based on my market analysis. And I told her, I said, her and her husband, I said, you know what, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I said, and I even went back 6 months. I even went back 6 months, looked at the comparable homes that had sold when you first listed the home. And I said, there's no way that this home should have been listed close to $280,000. I'm sorry, just, my number after doing my market analysis, I had them closer to around $220,000. Now, some of you may say, oh my God, that's $60,000, a reduction. Yeah, that's what the seller said too. But some of you don't take, I don't want you to walk away from this thinking, oh, well, that's why Marcus sells homes really fast, is because he just prices them so low that, of course, anybody can sell them within a matter of days. That's not, if I conduct a business like that, do you really believe that my sellers are going to continue to refer me to their family and friends over the years? Absolutely not. Anybody can do that in terms of, just listing a home so low that anybody can sell it. So my numbers were based on my thorough market analysis and of the comps, within, that had sold within their neighborhood and branching out a little bit. But I had enough comps within their neighborhood to be able to kind of justify my listing price here. And of course, one of the other things that I do is I show my sellers the comparable homes. I show them the condition of the homes and the interior, exterior based on photos, of course, from the MLS. And I want them to look at their home, compare them to the comparable homes that I'm showing them to gauge whether or not, okay, your home's condition is it inferior? Is it superior or is it about the same? Okay. Based on that, it really kind of hits home because you really can't argue with the numbers. You can't really argue, when I'm showing them comparable homes and we should be listing closer to 220,000. I mean, there's really no way to argue against that. I mean, you could. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had sellers that were just like, no, Marcus, I know my home is worth this because, I put gutters on the house or they did some other updates that they believed would increase market value, where I would come back and say that really doesn't add value to the home. But at the end of the day, though the sellers were extremely disappointed, I mean, that's a $60,000 loss instantly if I listed their home with them. But you know what they did? They decided to go ahead and hire me to sell their home, and I sold it. Where am I going with this? Where I'm going with this comes back to one of the first things that I said, is that listing a home with me or another experienced agent, it has to come down to trust. You have to trust me in terms of the information that I'm providing you is going to allow you to make an informed decision in terms of whether or not you're going to use me or not. And trust goes a long way. If your sellers don't trust you, then of course, it could be problematic. You could list the house, overprice it. And then of course, what's going to happen over the months or the weeks or the months, it's not going to sell. Then they're going to have to do price reductions. That's why it's always best to price the home right the first time with an experienced agent. What else was I going to say to that? It just kind of drew a blank, but you know what? I don't rehearse this. I just video it and I send it out. So I guess at the end of the day, let me wrap up this, for sellers, and that, when thinking about listing your home, definitely make sure that you are reaching out to an experienced agent who specializes in the area, neighborhood, who does a very thorough market analysis and doesn't just bring you a printout and say, hey, yeah, these 3 homes sold. This is what they sold at, and that's where we need to list your house at. No, there's so much more, at least for me, there's so much more that I take into consideration or factor in when I'm doing my market analysis. And so at the end of the day, sellers, know that we are here. The Marcus Smith Real Estate team is here for you. Inventory is low right now. I cannot keep a hold of listings right now. So if you're thinking about selling your home, now is the time. Give us a call. We'll definitely set up a consultation, an initial meeting with you guys. I hope you learned a lot from this. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.